Tonight, the inspiring story of a young man who overcame long odds and continues taking big steps in his life's journey. As Channel 2's Dave McKinley tells us, it involves determination, tradition, and entrepreneurship as we celebrate Western New York.
When we last saw Andrew Mangan in March of 2017, he was a 16-year-old Canisius High School student in the midst of a miraculous recovery. He'd been paralyzed in a freak accident, but after months of grueling rehab, had regained many of the functions he'd lost.
I'm definitely still on the road to recovery. I think every spinal cord injury patient is for life, really.
Today at 19, his gait in particular is an outward sign of his injuries, but as always, he's not letting that keep him down.
2 weeks ago, I did a triathlon for the first time.
But he's also been busy this summer, as he has for nearly half his life, with Camp Mangan.
Camp Mangan is basically 3 weeks in the summer where we have neighborhood kids over to our house from 9 to 3.
It's a day camp with lawn games, arts and crafts, what this young man describes as old-fashioned fun, founded by his older siblings, including Olympic skier Tricia Mangan in the summer of 2011.
A lot of us play sports during the summer, so we didn't really have time to do a traditional 3-month-long summer job.
They came up with the camp to make a little money for themselves and fill what they saw as a void.
There's a huge need for it. I think a lot of neighborhood kids are looking for something to do in the summer.
Which doesn't involve a screen. But as their older siblings have moved on with their lives, it had fallen to Andrew and his sister Mary, the youngest of the 6 children, to carry on. Knowing someday they too will leave this place along the lake, they think it's a tradition that should live on, if not here, then elsewhere.
And so we're kind of working to put together a sort of guide, a sort of like step-by-step from all that we've learned. It's called Summer Camp in My Backyard, and we hope to allow it to grow and move on to other kids, other neighborhoods, whether in Western New York or further in the country. It'll have everything, like a list of all the games we play, a list of all the crafts, all the meals, like the shopping list they'll need, suggestions, registration forms, everything that when you're thinking, how can I run a summer camp?
All in a simple-to-follow format.
I don't really think there's a huge first step other than just committing to doing that.
After all, think about all the steps he's made and continues to make.
Well, it does seem at points, and I've talked with a lot of people who say, yeah, I can't do this, or I'll never be able to do this again, and it may seem like that, and I always try to tell them and talk with them that it may seem like that now, but if you keep trying, then often you are able to do it, or you're able to do other things that you weren't expecting.
After taking a gap year to study German in, where else but Berlin, Andrew's next step will be to attend college in the fall as a member of the freshman class at Stanford University, which, as you can imagine, is quite a few steps from here.
Right, quite a few. Yeah. What an outstanding young man. I mean, really focusing on what he can do and making a difference rather than his limitations.
Right, right. Oh, and you'll appreciate this. As we sat down to do this interview today in his backyard, guy next door fired up the lawnmower. You know how that is, Well, you know me. I'm really kind of shy. I'm not going to go ask anyone to turn down the mower.
Oh, no.
But his mother, Andrew's mother, Mrs. Mangan, she volunteered to go do that. She noted that that guy firing up the lawnmower used to be a camper years ago, so she knew she could tell him and he'd listen.
I'm sure they made a lot of friends in the neighborhood. Great story. Thank you, David, for sharing that.